Hi everyone, I'm Charlie Winham, and welcome to a Louisiana Christmas journey. Across the country and around the world, the traditions of Christmas share a common thread while developing special qualities that are unique to their own part of the globe. And of course, Louisiana is no different. 25-foot-tall bonfires along the Mississippi River light the way for Papa Noel in St. James Parish each Christmas Eve. A 19th century Christmas is as close as Lafayette or Baton Rouge, thanks to Acadian Village and the LSU Rural Life Museum. And in Shreveport, the traditional sights and sounds take on an additional dimension at the American Rose Center, and it's called Christmas in Roseland. During the next hour, we will crisscross the state to showcase some time-honored holiday events and traditions, some dating back 2 centuries. And we will begin in Natchitoches, the oldest permanent settlement in the Louisiana Purchase. Their Festival of Lights have been going on since the Calvin Coolidge administration, and the folks around here make it a point to put you in the holiday spirit in so many ways. If ever a southern town was custom-made for Christmas, it would be historic Natchitoches. Inside the oldest permanent settlement of the Louisiana Purchase, Natchitoches features stunning Christmas light displays, quaint shopping, and small-town hospitality. The annual Festival of Lights is one of Louisiana's longest-standing holiday traditions.
We've been doing this since 1927, and it started out just as that one-day event. And about 15 years ago, we decided to stretch it out to 6 weeks. So we now call it the Festival of Lights.
Each year, the town transforms into a holiday centerpiece for all the world to enjoy. The stage is set just before Thanksgiving, when over 300,000 Christmas lights reflect off the Cane River.
Our set pieces are special. You won't find these set pieces or this style of lights anywhere in the world because every one of these are designed here. Our utility department spends all year. They weld the pieces together. They put these light pieces together. So when you come here and you see a set piece and the way we do our lights across Front Street, it's special.
And all along Front Street, visitors can find a wonderful array of unique shops and restaurants. And what better place to begin during Christmas time than a gift shop by the name of Dickens? What's it like running a shop in Natchitoches during Christmas?
Crazy. That's all I can say. It's crazy.
Sandra is part of the celebrated holiday tradition that began as a young child when she experienced her first Natchitoches Christmas. And she's been a shopkeeper in Natchitoches since 2003.
Just lots and lots of nice people come in. But it's a hectic time because you have so many and everybody's trying to make decisions about Christmas, or they're trying to sneak around and buy something while their friend is on the other side of the shop. But it's fun. When you shop in Natchitoches, it's more than just a mall. You're not in a mall. You get to walk out of the stores and see the beauty that Natchitoches has to offer. You find unique things that you don't find in a mall or a big city. You can hear the clippity-clomp of the horses going down, pulling the buggies. It's just a magical time.
Another holiday tradition can be seen in Sandra's display window, where a beautifully decorated Christmas tree hangs upside down. We'll find out what's up with the upside-down tree shortly. But something else to pique your curiosity is the guarantee of snow to come to this Louisiana town for the holidays. One of the newest features includes a 110-foot man-made snow hill that kids of all ages can slide down on an inner tube.
We have it here on the weekend following Thanksgiving.
And you can also ride down memory lane to see traditions of Christmases past, as some Natchitoches residences open up to the public for the holiday tour of homes.
This is the Soldini House, and it was built in 1847 by Joseph Soldini.
And inside the Soldini House, you'll find direct descendants celebrating a 19th century Christmas. And here, we find the answer to the mystery of the upside-down Christmas tree.
You see in this room, this is the front room of the house where people will enter, and we have an upside-down tree. A lot of people think that's something that designers have done in recent years, but it's actually hearkening back to the original celebration of a tree being used to celebrate Christ's birth. Many people think that because the Romans decorated a tree during December in the pagan ritual of Saturnalia, that the early Christians decided to be the opposite of that and turn the tree upside down and still enjoy decorating a tree but be opposite the pagans. And so the earliest recorded history of a Christmas tree was hung upside down. And we have over 2,000 chandelier crystals on this upside down tree. By doing this, we hope that people will leave and will appreciate a little more of the Christmas traditions that they have in their family and hold on to those traditions and honor them because all of our families have traditions that we need to remember and celebrate.
As we share the Christ child's love and look to his star above, let us give thanks for the holy season and always remember the reason. God sent his Son for an humble birth to bring goodwill to men and peace on earth. May joy of Christmas we feel here abide with us throughout the year.
There are a couple of big fireworks displays set for December, including one on New Year's Eve. For more information on the 45 days of the Festival of Lights in Natchitoches, feel free to go online at christmasfestival.com. Next, we head to Lafayette for another holiday tradition at Acadian Village. For over 30 years now, you can enjoy the sights and sounds of Christmas, complete with a healthy dose of Cajun flavor.
Down in Louisiana, we have a Cajun Christmas. There ain't much snow at the Fado, but you're welcome to come with us.
Acadian Village in Lafayette is a sparkling jewel that puts thousands of visitors in the Cajun Christmas spirit each year. This replica of a 19th century town is open all year long, but during the holiday season, this village shines best on December nights. Preparing for the Christmas holidays takes most of the year, and as early as October, you can see the transformation take shape from a modest little village and into a Christmas wonderland filled with over 500,000 lights.
My family started coming to Noel Acadian Village when I was a teenager, and in our home it was not Christmas time till we had brought the family and come to see all the Christmas lights. So it's definitely one of my childhood memories, and I'm so pleased to be able to continue that with my children now.
The lights, of course, the lights. Every year we try to change it up. Every porch is decorated with a theme, and we kind of switch it around. And the sponsors really do their part. They sponsor animated displays, they sponsor the homes, and the community really comes together. We get about 30,000 people in the 3-week period.
People like the Romero family. Aaron and Blake have taken their son Cohen here to see the Christmas lights and enjoy the carnival rides and displays.
He thinks it's pretty cool.
He had a good time with the rides, and he had a real good time. We really enjoy coming out here. We've been a couple of times. This is the first time that we've had an opportunity to come when they lit up Acadian Village with the lights, so we thought it'd be a good opportunity for him to see it, all lit up for Christmas. With all the modern technologies we have, just to be able to step back and see our Cajun heritage this way and our culture, I think it's really important that we do pass it on to our little ones.
We love the lights, we love the scenery, the heritage is awesome. Just the story behind Acadian Village is great.
And the story of the Acadian Village includes the profound spirit of charity. The proceeds of this Christmastime festival goes to support the Lafayette Association for Retarded Citizens, also known as LARC.
A lot of people don't know that LARC owns Acadian Village, so we have definitely been trying over the last few years to make that connection. You know, all the funds, like we said, go back to LORC to support a quality of life. We are state and federally funded, but a lot of the quality of life type events that we like to have for the clients, we don't get funds for that, and it offsets the budget.
But this time-honored tradition would be nothing without the hundreds of volunteers who make it all possible. And one volunteer in particular really makes Acadian Village shine. Carol Gilbo of Abbeville began volunteering in 1983 after he retired from AT&T.
They were asking for volunteers, and I came and see what it was all about, and once you come, they've got you.
Mr. Carroll makes sure all the lights stay bright. He turns them on every day before the visitors arrive, and he is never late to work.
And he handles it. He's always there. He actually brings his camper and in the middle of November, and actually stays here overnight to make sure that all the displays are protected, that everything is working fine, and to make sure that this event is a success. We could not do it without him.
Every night he walks around and makes sure that there's no light bulbs out. You know, he has a pocket full of light bulbs and he changes them out when they go out, and we just couldn't do it without those people. There's no way we could even afford to even pay, you know, a couple of people to be here every night. It's over 20 nights.
This is just a fantastic slice of true, authentic Acadian culture. And if you've never been to South Louisiana, you need to come and visit us, because we are such a unique experience. And I love that this event combines the two, the magic of the holidays and the uniqueness of the Acadian culture.
Acadian Village truly showcases the meaning of Christmas, with their proceeds going to support the Lafayette Association of Retarded Citizens. For a complete list of the entertainment and events this holiday season, go online to acadianvillage.com. Stay tuned, there is more holiday cheer on the way, including a stop in North Louisiana for Christmas in Roseland. Plus, we will finish things off with a bang as folks in St. James Parish welcome Papa Noel on Christmas Eve along the banks of the Mississippi. You're watching a Louisiana Christmas journey right here on Louisiana Public Broadcasting. Welcome back to a Louisiana Christmas journey. I'm your host, Charlie Winham. There's an annual Christmas display in North Louisiana that's been a community tradition for decades in Shreveport. The city is headquarters to the American Rose Society, which boasts over 35,000 members worldwide. Every holiday season, the 100-acre gardens at the American Rose Center welcomes thousands to Christmas in Roseland.
Bum biddy bum biddy 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 bum biddy bum biddy 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 bum. Bum biddy bum biddy 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 bum biddy bum biddy 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 bum.
The Arklatex region of northwest Louisiana blooms during Christmas time at the gardens of the American Rose Center, located just outside of Shreveport. Since 1987, the American Rose Center opens its doors to a Christmas celebration that includes the entire community.
Once the sun goes down and the lights come on, this place is really transformed. And while it's beautiful in the daytime, to be lit by all of these sparkling lights at night is really fabulous.
Christmas in Roseland is open to everyone during the weekends between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And during that time, visitors can walk beside a long-standing tradition of giant Christmas cards created by area school children across this 100-acre complex.
It gives us a lot of room. Through the walkways to the gardens, we have our Christmas cards community program. Area school kids design and draw, paint the cards. And so that's a big draw for during Christmas as well.
Christmas is the time for giving. That fact is showcased near the front entrance, where visitors are greeted with a new computerized Christmas tree that sits along a beautiful reflecting pool.
The reflecting pool was a gift to us by one of our members who asked in his will that we construct a reflecting pool as part of the gardens. And then the Convention Tourist Bureau said, hey, we want to give you something for Christmas in Roseland because it adds so much to our community, and we decided that the Christmas tree would be the perfect fit.
And kids of all ages can take a ride on the Roseland Express. The miniature train only rolls out for 2 holidays each year.
Oh, the Roseland Express is one of our treasures here at the Rose Center. It's probably our biggest draw for the kids, is our wooden train. Adults can ride it too, so kids love it. It's great. And we also run it at Easter time during our Easter Hunt Festival.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He's got a bag that is filled with toys for the boys and girls again.
And every weekend leading up to Christmas, there is plenty of singing and dancing to put you in the holiday spirit.
We have a lot of local entertainers come out during the holidays, and we have several venues set up for them to perform. So we'll have local church choirs and school choirs and individuals who have a little following in the area, and they'll come out and perform, and it's just really enjoyable.
Inside the largest garden dedicated to roses, there just might be an additional Christmas gift to visitors, weather permitting.
Biddy bum, biddy 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 bum, biddy bum, biddy 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 bum.
I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree.
Sometimes a Louisiana winter will be warm enough for a few roses to pop up and offer a beautiful Christmas surprise.
Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is you.
Roughly 40 years ago, the Burden family donated their farm to LSU as the foundation to creating a rural life museum. Each year, over 60,000 people visit the Rural Life Museum in Baton Rouge, and during the holidays, all are welcome to travel back in time to glimpse into Christmases past. On the first weekend in December at the LSU Rural Life Museum, the sights, sounds, and all the 19th century trimmings of Christmas time in the country come alive.
We celebrate the Christmas traditions of 19th century Louisiana. And a lot of folks don't realize that because we're two states culturally, North and South Louisiana, there's really was two celebrations of Christmas during the 19th century as well. While in North Louisiana, the Anglo-Saxons tended to celebrate the Christmas we know today with a Christmas tree and gift giving and a large Christmas dinner that day. The Roman Catholics of South Louisiana went to midnight mass. They would have a large midnight supper after mass, and then it was pretty much a day of fasting. 12th night was the day of celebration for Roman Catholics. In fact, 12th night celebrations were larger than Mardi Gras at one time.
Christmas time in the country is a true educational experience as well. Taking a walk back in time can be a real eye-opener for the entire family, but it's especially amazing to the younger crowd to see how Louisiana life was lived over 160 years ago.
We try to have half of our activities hands-on, such as candle making. They can spin and weave and comb cotton or comb wool in preparation for the spinning process. And also, they learn different types of games that your grandmother and my grandfather would have played in 1900 or in the 19th century.
I was playing by the lake, and over there they had cane, and one of the attendants here said that we could go pick it, so I went and I broke this down with my hands. And he cut it and gave us sugar cane.
You feel like you're in the middle of the country, the Burden property, and so when you look across the fields, it looks normal to see old buildings and the oxen and sugar cane and the agricultural fields beyond that. So it's definitely a unique atmosphere for Baton Rouge and a unique place for a rural life museum.
A straw poll of the kids indicated some of the favorite things at the Rural Life Museum includes getting up close to all the different farm animals and seeing how things were made way back when.
The candy that kind of cool. People made.
When I was born in Louisiana, down on the Black Bayou, raised on shrimp and catfish, it's mama's
And we're not forgetting the parents. I mean, we have so many things that people our age, and of course our parents who remember a lot of these things, also share. And of course it's all done in this wonderful atmosphere of 450 acres.
And I think to learn about the past just makes the future so much more. You know, it's just, you know, both a challenge and just a rewarding thing that we have things that these people didn't have, and they made it despite that. And it's just up to us to make our world better too.
I'm gonna stay there till I die.
The donation of the family farm by the Burdens in the 70s is the largest gift ever received by LSU at an estimated value of $270 million. It is open daily from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and you can find out more about the museum online at rurallife.lsu.edu. And finally, we wrap up our Louisiana Christmas journey with a bang, with one of the most unique Louisiana Christmas time traditions taking place in St. James Parish. It's the annual Christmas Eve bonfires. I'm not talking about 1 or even 10 bonfires along the banks of the Mississippi River. Would you believe roughly 100 bonfires lit at the same time along a 3-mile stretch of the river? It's certainly something everyone should witness at least once in their lifetime. Who says you need snow to have fun at Christmas time? Along the Mississippi River communities of Lutcher, Gramercy, and Paulina, kids just coming home from school are sliding down the levee and creating an avalanche of smiles and laughter.
It can do sledding. It can sled on a levee, piece of cardboard and up and down. It's just always been one of the things that have gone on. From when I was young, we did it, and the kids today still do it.
Older kids and their dads and uncles take on another Christmas time tradition. They're cutting down brushwood along the riverbank to create huge teepee-shaped piles of wood. Beginning the day after Thanksgiving and throughout the coming weeks leading to Christmas, hundreds of families are building these structures along the levee. By 7 o'clock Christmas Eve, the wood piles are lit along a 3-mile stretch of the East Bank. What is this tradition? Why do we have all of these teepees of towers of wood all along the levee?
The tradition is to light the way for Papa Noel, is what some people say, and others say it's to light the way to midnight mass. The church is right here, so you could find your way to church when there wasn't street lights. I think the bonfire is one of the biggest traditions, and just the building of the bonfire, wrapping them with cane reed and doing the different things like that.
Is there any secret to building a good one of these?
No, there's really no secret to building it. Most of them are the teepee style, and they're either 4 or 6 poles. And I think they let each city build one unique type, where they might build a boat or a steamboat or something like that. But there's really no secret to it.
Many folks are familiar with the Christmas Eve bonfires that date back to the 1800s. But on the second weekend of December, the area holds the Festival of the Bonfires. It's sort of a dress rehearsal for the big Christmas Eve event, and it's also a great opportunity for people to see the bonfires who may already have Christmas Eve plans.
I haven't been down here in years, and you know,
remembered that it was going on and wanted to come see it again.
Oh yeah, I love doing it. I could do this every day if I had to. I love doing it because we get together with all our family and friends. It just brings everybody together in a good mood.
The festival queens light one bonfire each evening. And down the road from the fire's glow, thousands gather at the pavilion for some music, carnival rides, and even some Christmas shopping.
Well, for me, Charlie, the bonfires in St. James Parish, what Mardi Gras is to New Orleans, that's what it is to us. Something, come November, Thanksgiving week, when that comes around, we got to start building those structures, and it's just something you look forward to. The construction part is more fun than the actual burning, but the burning is a big family gathering, community gathering, something we truly love here.
And they also truly love their gumbo. One of the biggest holiday gumbo cook-offs you will ever see is held each year at the pavilion. And if you're really lucky, you'll bump into Larry Roussel, a festival organizer, and he might ask you to taste test the over 50 entries vying for top honors.
What you got? Right there. Chicken and on.
There's 3 different categories of gumbo in the gumbo eating contest. There's going to be seafood, chicken, and sausage. I'm at the melange. That basically translates to they won't tell you what meat is inside it. I don't know what's in it, but I like it. M might be the winner. Holiday time in the river parishes offers some of the most unique ways to celebrate Christmas. The Festival of the Bonfires offers everyone who comes this way a chance not only to feed the body, but to also warm the soul. And around here, you will never meet a stranger on Christmas Eve.
For St. James Parish with the bonfires, something we love to do, but it's just the people here. For Christmas Eve, if you come take a ride and stop at any house, Charlie, I promise you, they'll tell you to come on up on the levee, come in the house, eat gumbo, eat jambalaya, whatever they're cooking. If you've been to Mardi Gras, you gather with a bunch of friends, same exact atmosphere here, and we just absolutely cherish this Christmas tradition in South Louisiana.
Now, the Festival of the Bonfires serves many purposes. You can see the levee bonfire before Christmas Eve. Plus, the proceeds go to help pay for the insurance policy the parish takes out every year. For more information on the bonfires of St. James Parish, go online at festivalofthebonfires.org. Well, there you have it, our Louisiana Christmas journey that celebrates love, hope, and the spirit of giving in a way that is truly Louisiana. For everyone at Louisiana Public Broadcasting, we wish you the best of holiday seasons, as well as a wonderful new year. Thanks for watching.